Hey everybody, Flying Scorpion here. Let's talk about Outriders. I first heard of Outriders when YouTuber Tactical Potato talked about it. At that time, it was still in beta testing, if I recall correctly, and there was a lot of hype over the free demo. We haven't seen games with a free demo in a while. And People Can Fly, the studio that made this game, have brought this game back from a live service model to just sort of a standard, release the game in a quote-unquote finished state, and then that's it. Then they'll release DLC in the future. And they emphasize we are not doing a live service model. There's no freemium upgrades. This isn't free to play. This isn't like buy cosmetic items, and they continually update the game over time. It's release the game, and then there'll be a DLC later on, and then who knows after that. It depends upon how much money they make and how profitable they are after the DLC comes out. They had a rocky start. Very negative reviews. From what I understand, there were a lot of problems with the game. I don't know much about it because I didn't jump on the hype train. I just sort of had this game on my wish list. It's been sitting there for months, and during the Steam Christmas sale, it was 67% off. So it's like $25 rather than $80 Canadian. And I thought I'd go ahead and check it out. So I got the game, and they have released a free DLC between now and the time that they released the game. Just a couple months ago, they released this DLC, or not DLC, a patch rather. And that, from what I can tell, that patch was great. They added a transmogrification system to the game. If you don't know what a transmogrification system is, it's basically, in a nutshell, it's the ability to apply the appearance of one item onto another item. So let's say, for example, you find this cowboy hat early on in the game and you like the way it looks, but it doesn't have very good defenses on it. And then later on, you get like a bulletproof military helmet, and that's got better defenses to it, but you want to look like you have a cowboy hat on your character. Well, you can take the skin of the cowboy hat, apply it to the helmet, and you'll get all the defensive bonuses, the statistics from the helmet, but the appearance of the cowboy hat. And so this allows you to customize your appearance a lot in the late game. I wish more games had this. Definitely, this needs to be a bigger thing moving forward. I think this is sort of like a new feature that people are going to expect with games, and we should really be asking for this as gamers. And it's great to see it's in this game. They added it for free. It's not complicated. It's a simple system. I think that this is a really good step forward for this game and just for the gaming industry in general. Another thing that they did was they took away the time limits on their expeditions. That's like their end game content. That's the end game grind for loot. Previously, there were time limits on it, and you had to be fast in order to get rewards. And this pigeonholed players into focusing on min-maxing their DPS. And this stifles build diversity. I've talked about this with Path of Exile. I am loathsome towards timed content or time-limited content. I think it's okay to sprinkle it in here and there. Just turn off my phone there. I think it's okay to sprinkle it in here and there, but it does stifle build diversity. It forces people to focus on just the clear speed meta. And here's the problem. The clear speed meta is already in and of itself rewarding. It rewards you because the faster you can clear an expedition, or the faster you can grind out a boss again and again and again, the more rewards that you'll get from it. It's just built into the game. You kill this enemy, you get loot out of it. The faster you do that, the more loot you get over a shorter time span. So you don't need to add, as a game developer, you don't need to add an extra layer of disincentive to playing slow. The disincentive is already there inherently with the way that the game is designed. So anyway, they've taken away the countdown timers or the time limits or whatever on the expeditions, and I think that's great because it allows me and other players to play tank builds. And rest assured, last night I was grinding through expeditions with a fellow tank player. There was 3 of us, and it was taking us a long time to kill things. But we were okay with that. Like, that's the thing. Some players are okay with playing slow. Like, not everybody cares about just blasting the... What are we going to do? Race to the finish line and then get bored with the game and then quit? Like, that's what everybody leads to anyway. Like, you're going to get to the end. You have the best gear. There's nothing else left for you. You're at the peak of the mountain. There you go. You're done, right? Like, that's... So, anyway, I've been generally enjoying my time playing the game. I think that the combat system's good. The itemization is really good. The way that they've designed, the way you can change the mods on the gear, the way that you can customize your weapons and whatnot, they've done a great job with that. And unlocking the perks from legendary weapons and being able to apply those perks to regular weapons. You could have a let's say just a rare weapon, and you can take a legendary mod and apply it to the rare weapon. And I think that's just a great way of really giving players the power to customize their builds. So I'm looking forward to playing around a little more with that. The landscapes, the scenery is 10 out of 10. It's like, you know, when you play Halo, when you look up and you see the ring, and it's like, wow, it's awesome. There's a lot of stuff like that in this game. It's not exactly Halo, but the scenery is beautiful. And the combat feels pretty good. I think they spent a fair bit of time playtesting their combat. It does feel pretty good. There are bugs and glitches with the game. And I hope that they fix those with the upcoming World Slayer DLC. One of my bigger gripes with the game that's not a bug or a glitch is that there's no ability to jump. So this game's been compared to Destiny 2 or Warframe. It's a third-person shooter with superpowers, but a big difference is that you can't jump in this game. You can walk around, you can drop down from ledges, you can climb up onto ledges, you can sort of like vault over top of barricades, but you can't jump over barricades, and you can't jump up onto ledges and things like that. And so what you'll find is that there's a lot of invisible walls blocking you. So let's say, for example, you walk up to a ledge and there's enemies down below you and you want to drop down to their level and you come across an invisible barrier. You can't actually fall down. Or you'll walk up to an open window and you go to like jump or like vault out the window and there's an invisible wall there. You can shoot through the window, but you can't travel through the window. So there's a lot of those invisible walls, and I found it to be pretty intuitive in the first couple of levels of the game. They did a good job of sort of boxing you in, and it's very visibly clear and intuitive. There's a barrier there. Like, I can see it. There's a wall. But then as you get later on into the game, they, open things up, and then you can see out into these landscapes, and it starts to become unclear of where the boundaries of the combat arena is until you run up to a wall and you're like, oh crap, I can't go there, and then you die because the combat gets like difficult if you allow it to get difficult later on. And that was frustrating for me. In terms of the challenge, I think that the game is pretty good in that respect. They do a lot of stunning to keep you challenged, and you can control the challenge level yourself. You can set it to World Tier 15 or World Tier 1, the easiest mode versus the hardest mode, and I think they've done a really good job of balancing that. I think overall they've done a lot of things right with this game. So we'll see what happens when the new DLC comes out. We'll see if they're profitable enough to continue working on the game. You can tell that they spent a lot of time working on it, and you can tell that they really want this game to succeed. Obviously, they do. You wouldn't make something like this if you didn't want it to succeed. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'll keep playing. I'll hopefully get deeper into the late game. I'm about 50 hours in, and I'm in the process of grinding out the expeditions and trying to get access to legendary gear for my character. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.